Alright, back for part two. I don't know what happened there, but you already know. Already know how it goes. You already know. That was crazy. That was quite interesting. That one was a first. So we're gonna go to another European, slapping them up. The Moor, the Mason, and the Alien. Rick Smith. Yeah. And you see, you recognize that he put Moor first. You know what I mean? Could have been the Mason, the Alien, and the Moor. But European doing what he does to make sure that people know what's up. Alright? Now remember, we're not playing white devils and all those stupid talk that you hear people talk. Right? We're not playing none of that BS there. Okay? We recognize that the prophet Noble Drew Ali, who Marcus Garvey is the forerunner, he himself said that he's John the Baptist. Right? So Moors can't be shunned for trying to tie Marcus Garvey to Noble Drew Ali, because he's honoring by saying he's John the Baptist. And Noble Drew Ali came around and said, yep, Garvey's the forerunner. Went and met him. We got the evidence. Thank you to the Chicago Defender newspaper for documenting the facts. So in case people try to hide, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, no, Garvey's not whatever. You know what I mean? You know that it's BS that they're talking. So page 166, Rick Smith's book, The Moor, the Mason, and the Alien. 1,300 years later, a new Christ named Timothy Drew would emerge from the burning embers of the Reconstruction era as Noble Drew Ali, a name he would earn after heeding the call of the Covenant and traveling to Egypt. A bold visionary for the Temple of Solomon, this Moorish American came on the scene as the United States entered the 20th century. While visiting the city of Giza, he was tested in the extreme by the same Egyptian adepts who were standing at the docks awaiting for his initial arrival. There was no preemptive correspondence or communication, and no travel preparations were made of any kind prior to the Christ's sudden arrival. It was vision, boat, travel, dock, Egypt, bam. The adepts just simply knew he would come as the United States, Canada, and Europe headed for the frenetic shenanigans of the Roaring Twenties. I'ma get medieval on your ass. Marcellus Wallace, Pulp Fiction. As far as being tested in the extreme, we're definitely talking medieval. All major prophets have to be tested by facing off against the mysterious Sphinx. In this case, the word mysterious is code for merciless, as it is the one test that represents a severe physical and psychological life and death scenario. If you have what it takes and you pass, you get to live. Alakazam, you're a bona fide Christ. If not, well, in truth, you really weren't worth shit anyway, and nobody will miss you. End of story. So what is the test of the Sphinx? Plain as day. Your spiritually enlightened ass is thrown into an underground labyrinth in the bowels of the earth under the Sphinx. You are locked in with no way of knowing where you are. It is pitch black with not even a sliver of light to be found anywhere. Total darkness. WTF. Total darkness. Remember, there's a European talking. So, you know, it's a whole different perspective. You have to find your own way out. Yeah, good luck with that. No food, no water, and the guarantee of permanent blindness. Absolutely no one will come looking for you, nor will they ever find your dead, rotting carcass. Guess who they did find sitting all peaceful and content at the paws of the Sphinx? That's right. Successfully defeating the wrath of the Sphinx, noble Drew Ali had conquered imminent death as he surpassed the final brutal trial, sitting atop the location known as the Ancient Hall of Records. Now the modern spiritual avatar of Hiram Abiff, he had become the master architect of the Star of David and was forever transformed into Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali the Christ. Star of David, isn't that some other people who claim that they're, you know what I mean, some nation of something but can't prove it? Interesting. The European, right? European. European. Where's he getting this in-depth stuff that he knows about Noble Drew Ali? Oh, Moors. Moors. Moors who what? Moors who did their job and did what Noble Drew Ali said. In order to change the people, you must change their literature. How are you going to do that? By putting literature out. And certain Moors who put literature out are who is the ones right now. That have this set up so that the word could get out from all different people. I mean, Rami showed you on his channel when the news clip talk about Jesus was a Moor. So this word is spreading far and wide, and people are taking heed to the message. When you have a European now, not talking about no European Jesus and all that. You talk about Noble Drew Ali with confidence. That's when you know. That's when you know. When you know it's really, really good. Because there's no way that Negro, black, colored guy, whatever, could tell Moors anything about we're not Moors and you know, oh yeah, we're not Moors and we're gonna go be something else. Crazy. Because as Moors, you know, we're on the inside. So we're privy to certain information automatically. Just because. What do Moors do? Study. Why? So you could think and save yourself. Because if you don't think, you will enslave yourself. Which is what all these so-called distractions of people having all these, you know, pass the bucket concerts. And they want to play games to get people to be diverted away from Moorish history, knowledge, whatever. Because that's all that should matter to anybody who's Asiatic right now. Finding out as much stuff as you can about Moors, this thing that you've been told is not you. But everything else is you. But that's not you. Everything else is you. But not Moors. Moors is Berbers and Pale Arabs and Turks and whatever. But, you know, everything else, or you could be that. They don't want you to be Moors. You ever know? You never thought about it? Why do they want me to be Moors? Why do they want me to be everything else? Planet I never been on, never seen before, don't even know if it exists, but I'm from there. Mother Earth, page 184. It's interesting page sequences of where stuff is in this book. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if that was intentional. If it was intentional, I'm going to have to ask about that, because there's certain things in this book that sequence on certain page numbers that's like, no way this is on this page number. But I don't know. Mother Earth watched every move made by the Shetu regime. As the children of Earth were being disseminated, she was carefully absorbing the Archon tactics, learning how to beat them at their own game. This resulted in the atom shining the lamp of illumination on a brand new glimmer of hope, Almoricanos. Known as the quote-unquote dirty colonists, they were seen as a separate breed of pariahs, half Moor and half Mason. Perceived as a polluted mixed breed, they would always be shunned by the white Masonic elite as something that was less than zero. This was the loophole that Gaia needed. By the time an action plan had come through the pipeline, the Iroquois, Montauk's, and Lenni Lenape already knew what was going down. It was a tremendous risk to take. How would the dirtily colonists react? What would their intentions be in the aftermath? Many colonists, known as patriots, were steadfast cronies of the Eurocentric white supremacist mentality, while others were not. Those who weren't were known as loyalists, for they had remained faithful to the covenants, pacts, and treaties of the original Native America matriarchs of the Moorish legacy, the clan mothers. It was the loyalists who were approached by the elders of the Iroquois Confederation. This meeting of the minds would result in the founding mothers and fathers being given the proper philosophical perspective on lost knowledge and ancient wisdom, a powerhouse education that was needed to awaken their minds and lay the foundation for the ultimate rebellion, the Great Experiment. Rick Smith, going in. Going in. Like, not fair going in. Page 19. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr. Whew! In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr. Find me some Asiatic that quoted that part. Find me one Asiatic that quoted that part in anything ever about Martin Luther King. Front. Crossing paths with some of the mentors and teachers the crone had spoken of, I came to a major turning point in my life at the close of 2005. I couldn't put my finger on it exactly, but the trees seemed to vibrate on a different frequency now. They had normally become barren, going from autumn to winter, but now they carried a supernatural presence, like the conduits or sacred barrows, where the recycled atoms of those long dead were reaching out through the quantum physics of Mother Earth. Converging paths of ancient knowledge, were making themselves known to me as two key hallmarks of the Temple of Solomon began to come together. One was morning sky, Hopi cosmology, and the other was exhuming of Noble Drew Ali's Moorish legacy. The cosmology of the galactic community had merged seamlessly with the historical sagas of civil rights and economic slavery. Keep in mind that there is absolutely no way to separate them. If you talk about one, you have no choice but to talk about the other as well. This was the year I came out of hibernation and began a verbal campaign against the economic systems of Repto-Syrian fascism, the likes of which had never been heard of before. The corporate titans were put on notice. They would feel the wrath of Mother Earth upon my silver tongue as the lamp of illumination delivered an avalanche of forbidden knowledge. Remember, these are the same establishment-based pharma pimpin' sluts who let mom rot away after battling cancer for 4 years. They killed my mother, and they didn't even give a damn. Well, guess what? I didn't give a shit anymore either. You want to play that game? Fine, two can play. I had Mother Earth, the Ankils, the Sisterhood, and the galactic community on my side. The white Masonic pro-reptilian elite couldn't touch me, nor could they do a damn thing about it without getting their asses handed to them. The setting Mall of Hiram Abiff was held high in the air as a sign of defiance against the transnational corporation and the pharmaceutical multinational. The magma of Earth's contempt had finally come to the surface. The flaming sword was now her messenger, and I was on fire. Drew Ali say, when the water comes what? Oh. That's him. Right? So Drew Ali. Now, another thing too, what you're going to do is go into, get all your Asiatic books or whatever. Right? Every Asiatic that wrote a book, pull it out. Go to the index. And look in the index and see if Noble Drew Ali's name is in there. Here's a European. Here's a European that has this book about the Moors and the aliens and all this stuff. And you know, there's some things that you expect to see, you know what I mean? Freemasonry in the index, and you know, university of something, you know what I mean? Supernatural, you know, presidential. There's certain things you expect to see. Find me one of those Asiatics that have Noble Drew Ali in the index of their book. Probably won't find one, because it's a complete fraud. The reality is that everybody is trying to draw attention to these crazy people that don't want to think for themselves. They keep wanting some agent, sellout or whatever to think for them, and then want to know how come they have nothing and why is their condition, and we need to go do this and do that. And Like, yo, people been told, supposed to tell you, and they're choosing not to. And on top of that, people aren't even studying for themselves. They want to get a flyer, and then that's when they're gonna go learn something. Other than that, they don't care about learning nothing. So again, we're at this place where it, for those people who are sincere that don't know about their nationality and their birthrights, all these classes that we got, all this stuff that Cosmo L got, Supreme L got, Sailor Bay got, Sister Raz got, Taj got, Abdullah got, Alim El Bay got, all this information being put out is to hopefully inspire some sincere people to want to know more about their nationality and birthrights and to study. Study. Because you cannot be what you don't know. And the whole conscious community is about being what they don't know. Again, when they come up to say stuff, got ID to prove that you're Amun whatever, Kemetic Nuapian guy, Black Power guy. Does SETI have ID that says SETI? That came from his Black Power nation? The Hebrew Israelites, do they got something that came from their nation? And not that they just have something that came from their nation and, they just got it. No, we don't want to see you just pull it out of your pocket. Like we can say, okay, here's a receipt to show that we used ours, right? Because we have the matching corresponding number from the card on the receipt, right? So right? We're talking about prove it. Don't just be smart and pull out a paper. Yeah, here's the paper. Yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite because I got this paper. All right, let's go to the store right now and let's go use your Hebrew Israelite, nationality papers, and let's see you get some exemptions. That's the only reason that you would have that in society, to be exempt from certain things, because that paper or card proves your status. So if your claim is that you're Hebrew Israelite, one, either show me a Moorish nationality card and that, your tribe is Hebrew Israelite, sure. Or show me a Hebrew Israelite nationality card with your Hebrew name on it, and let's go to the store and let me see you use your Hebrew. Because if you're saying that you're Hebrew, then that means you're pre-taxes. So if you're saying that you're Hebrew Israelite, that means you're pre the implementation of taxes. So if you're pre-taxes, then that means you're tax exempt. So let's go take your Hebrew nationality card, go to a store, and, show me you're exercising your Hebrew status, your black status. Whatever status you claim that you got is what your ancestors gave you, and that's who you are because the ancestors said, prove it. If you can't prove it, you're stateless, nationalize, or, shut the hell up. Don't talk about nationhood. Don't talk about whatever. Just keep doing your church, pass the bucket BS. Right? Don't say you're community, helping the community and stuff, because you're not helping nobody if you're not telling them about their status. You're doing a disservice that you got all these products and people are supporting you, but you're not telling them how to get out of the conditions that they're in, which They're in the conditions because of their void status. So we got a couple questions. Just um, Brother Yusuf L. Islam and give honors to the Prophet. I have a testimonial and question. In one, while traveling yesterday, I was hit from another conveyance from the back. I'm in good health. Although it was not my fault, when the highwayman showed up to the scene, I first asked for all his information, name, badge number, etc. I knew he wouldn't have an insurance bond number, but then he asked for my information. Still getting myself together from the crash, he asked me where I lived. I responded I domiciled at, etc. He asked name. I couldn't correct him on that with saying I have a title. I just said my free national title. He then said, do you have ID? I gave him my national ID. He said, do you have a license? I said, I don't have contracts with the corporation. Same thing with the social. Also stating for the record that a license is a privilege and I'm a natural person, not a 14th, 15th Amendment citizen. I have a right to travel. He states that he could arrest me for driving without a license, but sit tight. This while after I was hit from the back and then medical attention was called. After he went to the slave mobile to do whatever he then talks to the person who hit me, then comes to me. He states that he cannot arrest me because driving without a license is not something he can arrest me for, but that in the state or in this commonwealth you don't have the right to travel on the road and that it's a privilege, which was weird because it was like he thought I was from somewhere else. Plus I just told him the total opposite and now he's repeating it. He handed me a citation for not driving with a license with my free national name on it. Also my race as white because he couldn't put Moorish American but wouldn't fit in the box. He said that they are going to send me a letter in the mail and I'm thinking with my free national name on it, how are you going to do that? If they write me in my free national name, that would put me in the fraud system and as what with nothing to tie me to them. I just stayed with what I knew and saw the fraud he was still putting forth. My questions are to you, should I put them on notice in an affidavit with concerning my status and with questions and right to travel supreme law cases, or wait until I get the letter in the mail and continue from there? Well, you have the citation. Like, I don't know if that's for court or if it's just go pay a fine or whatever. But the idea is to stand on your square because you engage them standing on your square. So if you never gave a license or anything like that, then you got to go home. So I look at it. I mean, could have been kidnapped or whatever, but for some reason, Allah, Noble Juali, your energy, whatever, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? They gave you a piece of paper, and they said they're gonna send you more paper. Well, all right, you see the paper. If the paper is addressed to Free National, then it's addressed to Free National. Open it, see what's up, and then reply depending on what's in there. If they send something in the name of straw, then you write on the envelope UCC 3-501, UCC 3-501, refusal for cause, and then just send it back. And then make a copy of it before you send it back, just so you have a record that you sent it back. Because that's not who, so that, that's how they'll try to trick you into a contract. So that's what I would say. Because, if they say they're going to send you something, who knows? You know what I mean? They just like to do their little whatever. But you don't want to get something from them in your free national name and then just not respond. You want to respond some way, shape, or form. Right? Some way, shape, or form. And you already know, if that wasn't enough, you can call in tonight. Or you can call in tonight, or you can send another email, Facebook, whatever. You already know more. Send me a link. We got one question from Brother Battle Bay. Question: why is it necessary to send out copies of one's declaration and proclamation? Once you declare and proclaim your nationality, the colonial forces that we've been engaging for majority of our life have coerced us to believe that we're something that we're not. So, depending on where you are, you would be able to go to the county recorder's office, take your papers there, file them there, and then you can refer people to there as, to put your status on the record, that your status is on the record, right? Now, when you do that filing, they're going to more than likely give you something to say that your stuff is filed. At that point, if you did the county way, then you would do the same thing. Put whoever on notice that you made this filing, and if they have any rebuttal or whatever, to respond to you in kind in these amount of days, and then if you don't hear from them, then you would, accept that as their acquiescence and default on their part. Right? So same thing with the proclamation papers. With you, if you don't have a county, if you try to go to county and the county is saying, nah, we don't do that here, and this is a state of whatever, county recorders, whatever, then you already know that that's part of the democracy. So, you can't file there. So you're going to put everybody who needs to know on notice of your status correction. Well, I got an email and then they said that I should send to 7 people. Yeah, that's 7 primary people that you should let know what's up, because they're the, corporate heads. So you should let them know, right? Just because, just the jurisdiction that we're engaging them in. So put them on notice. But keep in mind that these corporate heads are sitting on a legitimate claim. They're just representing a corporate position, right? But their foundation isn't corporate. Their foundation is that they have constitution, treaties, and things that they have to go by in order to have that seat. So the heads of that need to be put on notice. that you made this proclamation and declaration and correction. And you put them on notice with it so that you can have a record that you put them on notice. Regardless of their actions, it's not about their actions or what they do. It's about, are we doing what we're supposed to do to make sure that we're in accord with the law, divine law. That if we are honoring our foremothers and forefathers, then it should be an honor to declare that. It should be something that, we look up to. Just like when you get, when you get the fez for the first time, or you put the turban on for the first time, or whatever. I mean, that jolt that you get. The jolt is for a reason. Because this is divine. This is not what these jokers are presenting it as. Like, this is not what the jokers are presenting it as. Right? They're presenting it like this is some religious whatever. It's not. It's not what this is. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the hype. Don't. Right? It's not. Majority of people who talk about Moorish whatever, but they're not Moors, don't listen to them. If they're not Moors, don't listen to what they're saying about Moors, because they're not qualified to speak on Moors. Right? And again, it's this is people's birthright. Okay? Right? There's principles, there's guidelines, so even though it's your birthright, don't think you just do whatever you want or whatever. Right? But this is people's birthright. And there's individuals who, they never send papers out to anybody. They don't even got a nationality card, and they exercise as Moors, and they ain't nothing happening to them. Zero. They ain't putting no ID down or nothing like that. They go to the store, they get tax off, and they didn't show nothing. They just talk or mime or something. You know what I mean? So you wanna, and then somebody brought something in the chat too about putting things on YouTube, right? Like internet. That is public. So yeah, if you have a now, you're not gonna taint the YouTube page with whatever stuff, right? But if you make a YouTube page for that one thing that's gonna be uploaded there, proclamation or whatever, and call it that, judicial proclamation to the world. I wouldn't say do that to not do the other stuff. That's an add-on. That's additional things that you would do to put it out there. You have a website, upload the paperwork in a scan to a website. And then upload the receipts that you sent it out and all that stuff, and then there's a record. Anybody can go to this website right here and check. You put it on a card, and then you just distribute it like flyers if you want. Everybody just go to that, read it, watch the video, whatever. Oh, that person proclaimed, oh yeah, whatever, But it's notice. Just like go on the train. You know what I mean? They have their little thing, notice. Notice, don't lean on the door. It might open and you fall out. Notice, don't hold the doors. Notice, whatever. Everything's about notice. Advertisement is notice. Notice, we have a new product coming out. It's called Quench Your Thirst. Everything's about notice. You know what I mean? It's just like all rights reserved. And everybody questioning all rights reserved. What are you questioning? Any contract you have with, I don't care if you're Negro, black, colored, whatever, any contract you have with these people out here that claim that they're government, claim that they're whatever, all rights reserved on the signature line, and then sign your signature over all rights reserved. Yeah, well, what are they gonna? Do I have to be a Moor to do that? And you might as well just do it, because you have no protection if you don't. At least you might give yourself a couple days head start if you reserve your rights on the contract. If you don't, then they got you. And it's something that like when we look at somebody like CM Bay. We use Charles Mosley Bay, right? Things that he knew, he presented it. And he presented it in his free national name. That the stuff is filed in the Library of Congress right now, they'll give you a copy of it. Right? In his free national name. It's filed in there as CM Bay Moorish American. Status on the record in the Library of Congress. Right? Moors in America. 77 facts. The Library of Congress under the name of Moors. It's in there under the name of Moors. Right? So we're looking at this individual that had so much honor for his ancient foremothers and forefathers that he put his stuff in the Library of Congress in his free national name. Not as, FKA, AKA, BKA, or whatever. Under one thing. Because always remember that this is spiritual. Do not forget that this is spiritual. This is extremely divine. When you're saying Moors, when you're saying, name correction, and you proclaim their nationality, declare their nationality, that's divine. Why is it divine? Because the people who put us onto this are divine. The people who made sure that we have access to this information that we're making part of our life, right? Those are divine people. Those are divine people. Right? So it has to be understood that these, proclaim your nationality and have a nationality card and all these things are equally divine. having a fez, having a turban, changing your diet. Like, all these things are divine things on the path of being an upright Moorish American. All of it is grooming. Every step that we take from being Negro, black, colored, African, whatever like that, into being Moors. Every step going forward, every single step is part of our grooming. The more steps you take, the better groomed you will be. Because remember, we came into this to be better citizens. We didn't come in this to get the info, but stay in a passive position. We have this to do something with it. We do something with it. Yeah, you don't have to do nothing with it, because, it's your birthright. It's your birthright. You don't have to necessarily do something with this. You might just be content knowing that you're a Moor. That might just be where you were supposed to go on this trip here. Just to that point of just knowing that you're a Moor and that's it, not doing nothing else, you know what I mean? But in your mind and your heart, and you have some papers and you have a card that says that you're a Moor, and it stops there. If that's what it is for you, then hey, you know what I mean? But, you're causing a little bit of disservice, because if you have this concept of being Moor, if you recognize that you're not Negro, black, colored, and you are something that, has some historical relevance, you should probably tell some people, because majority of people don't know. And you don't have to go out there and get arrested to exercise your rights. Don't be fooled by that either. For people who might be more passive with this information, because that's all the numbers on, MHHS just keep getting higher of people that get arrested. Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's not nothing to do with the grand scheme. You know what I mean? Because remember, this is not for us anyways. So whatever we get, we're supposed to get that. Whatever we get, whatever we go through, that's part of the path. Some people's path is smooth. Some people's path is rough. But you can't just stand on the path, which is supposed to lead to righteousness. You might as well be moving on it, even if you walk slow, even if you get on your stomach and crawl, roll, whatever. But be moving on the path once you get on this info. Don't sit down with this like, you know what I mean? Oh, you got it, so it's alright, and don't do anything. You know what I mean? Because the word's getting out, but we still got good ways to go. You know what I mean? We got good ways to go still. It ain't completely where it's supposed to be. It is further where it was a little while ago. But the key is recognizing that more people know than you think. More people know. So we should be confident in our approach when exercising our birthright, regardless of who it is that we're exercising to. You know. And yeah, you're gonna be wise. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be haphazard because this is birthright. Yeah, we got invincibility. No invincibility. It's only sovereignty. Don't get too carried away. You know what I mean? Don't get too carried away. You know, I know how it feels when you put that fez on for the first time and that turban, and you know what I mean? That nationality card, and you put it down and they actually took the taxes off, and it's like, oh, you start getting the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. Don't worry, you know what I mean? Slow it down a little bit. You know, you digest what's going on. Realize what is taking place. Because I'm telling you, people are waking up to this information like you do not know, and it's being put out there so that people know that people are gravitating to this information. You know, because they're starting to realize that it's a birthright. It's not joining something or somebody's giving you something. It's yours if you want it. Just go study Moors and you'll have your birthright. Guaranteed. If you don't turn opportunist, if you don't realize that, oh, people don't know about this, that this paper right here could help them get out of, hey, if I copy this, I can maybe sell these 500 a pop. You got it all there? Don't worry, this will never work for you. Never. This is people, for people who know that their condition could be better and want to do everything in their power to make their condition better by adhering to the principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Learning to love instead of hate. Uplifting fallen humanity. Telling somebody who doesn't know, especially a sister, because they're really the ones that have to get this. And don't be misled into abandoning your birthright. Don't abandon your birthright if you got it. I don't care how bad stuff seems. I don't care if you realize that you're the last Moor. I'm the only Moor left. Don't abandon your birthright. Don't abandon. Because what the ancestors have for you, next time you abandon your birthright, you don't want none of. So you better take the blows that you're going to get with your birthright than abandon it and get what the ancestors got for you. You don't want what they got for you. Trust me, they're fed up. They're done. Negro, black, colored people are a write-off. All they have left is Moors who are willing to, try to put them on some game so they don't lose everything due to abandonment, not because some devil did anything. So we'll see. But don't forget, Blog Talk Radio, 9:30, MHHS Eyes Wide Open on blogtalkradio.com. 347 945-5899. 347-945-5899. And just because we started a little late, we'll just close out with a little something. It should be clear.
And so know this. Yes. It's only because we Moors are waking up that all of this, we rise, they fall. Because the only reason they even survive is on our ignorance. So they survive off of our ignorance. They live off our virtue and our ignorance. To live off virtue and ignorance at the same time is real special, isn't it? And so it's time that, so now, and even with this picture of this flag, it's time for everyone to confess their own and worship, I call it worship, work their ship, right? Under their own vine and fig tree, for real. All of these things come into play, and they come as a revelation. And that's one other thing. When you're reading Prophet knew what all these words, because I was one of those. Remember times I used to say, well, where are you getting this stuff that he said? Where's the book that he said this? Because they're always quoting all this stuff. The reality is I always had the books of his work. It's in all the literature. It's just that it's spiritual. It's a spirit, divine and national movement. So what happens is those things that you've already read doesn't come as a revelation to you until it's time for it to become a revelation to you. Then all of a sudden you find yourself repeating the things that he said that you really already read. But it only comes unveiled to you at the time. The thing I wanted to share though, and you're going to help me out with this.
Islam Moors, peace and love is yours. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Ali. Islam. Islam Moors